Hey, welcome everyone to the best little wrestling podcast in the business. That's right, this is episode 19 of season 3, and it's Tuesday live here at STS Studios in St. Louis, Missouri. First, I just want to thank everyone for the when it comes to podcasts, the way you'll get comments from people, inboxes, but you also get downloads, and it kind of shows you what is the popular episodes. Last week's episodes, both episodes, are going to end up in the top 5. Looks like the Dustin Starr and Gene Jackson, the Tuesday episode, is hovering in third. It will take third place, and we have the Cool Kids Countdown, which has some little bit of controversy. So it's hovering in there. It'll get fifth place before the week is up. So we're looking at the second biggest week in downloads. Thanks, guys. If you haven't listened to those two episodes, please go back and listen. That's episode 8, 17, and 18. And if you want to know, the best week we ever had was episode 14 with Kerry Morris. He is still number one when it comes to downloads, is still number one when it comes to the best week. Just real quick reminder, this Thursday we won't have a Cool Kids Countdown, but next week we will, and it'll be the things that we love about wrestling. The 10 things we love about wrestling. I'm going to make it short and sweet this week. I just want you to go to STSPod.club. That's right, STSPod.club. It has everything you want to know. You can buy shirts there. We have T-shirt of the month. You can also buy something with Amazon, and we get a kickback. My Patreon site is on there. Everything right there. Also, Brian underscore Tramel at yahoo.com is my PayPal. Thanks to all that's been sending PayPal. Twitter is at Comic Book Mark BT. Guys, follow me because we give away stuff. Also, our Facebook page is Cool Kids Wrestling and MMA Talk. Facebook group, all you got to do is search it, ask to come in, and we'll bring you in. We're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher. The best places to find us, though, it looks like everyone is listening to us off of Twitter. And so, guys, you follow me on Twitter, you're going to win something. There's a chance to be winning something every month there. Thanks to Suplex City Limits, Creative Control, and Local to Legends Wrestler Radio. Those guys are our podcast brethren. And so, nothing more in the front here today except, you guys remember, for the last month, I've been taking names and we're giving away the very first Glory Pro DVD along with the Shooting the Shiznit sticker. So here, the winner is... Oh, wait, guys. I'm going to have my guest on here right around the middle of the show because I want you guys to listen to the podcast. In the middle of the show, I will announce the winner. We'll be announcing on Twitter later today or early tomorrow. But to know who won the DVD, you guys have to listen to the podcast. So let's bring on our guest. Bring out, like I got you behind a curtain or something. We're going to bring her out of the green room. We're going to bring her in here. I want to welcome Maria Starr to Shooting the Shiznit. Hey, Maria.
Hey.
Maria, I want to tell you, you're going to be, as of right now, with episode 19, you're the most beautiful guest we've had.
Well, that's good to know. Who else have you had on the show besides my
Except
husband?
for maybe Dustin and, my co-host on Thursdays, Lance Levine. Maybe those two guys. But, you might be heads above those two guys. So other than that...
Oh, yeah. I think we all agree that I'm way more attractive than my husband, Dustin.
I want to get this out because I start talking sometimes and I say, we're going to put your Twitter over and everything, and then we completely forget it, and I end up having to do some post-production. So before we start, let's put over your Twitter, T-shirts, whatever you want to say first so that we'll know how to get and follow you, Maria Starr.
All right. Well, first you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram at the Maria Starr with 2 R's, and then you can find me on Facebook at Maria Starr. And then now that just because you mentioned T-shirts, we have a Pro Wrestling Tees store, so you can go on to prowrestlingtees.com/thepowercouple, and we actually have some new T-shirts coming that I know everyone is going to love.
Awesome. Yeah, Pro Wrestling Tees is a great outlet for T-shirts, and excited for you guys to be on there. Well, we did already mention your husband.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, good
deal.
Ahead. That'd be some extra income selling merch there.
Well, I was really reluctant at first because Dustin is the one that's always keeping me in the loop about, cool things that are going on, and it's just so much work to really sell these shirts, but they make it super easy for us, and some of our new shirts have done really well. Like most of our fans know that I take people to Slap City, and that shirt has done such a great job at selling. And then we have the 5-Star Squad shirts, and everyone loves those shirts. It's got like a background of all these people in it, and every time we sell one, they're like, I think that's me in the back.
Awesome. Great idea. And like I said, Pro Wrestling Tees actually has one of our shirts. John bullied me there with Creative Control. So we use them with the partnership that we have with another podcast. So I had to plug myself there. We already talked about your husband, and I've known your husband, and we talked a little bit last week on a podcast for a long time, and I've always thought the world of him. Me and you have been around each other, not a lot, because at the time that I actually quit the website, you kind of got into the business. So for the last 6 years, you've been, I guess 6 years, close to 6 years anyway, you've been running around the Memphis area. I've seen some of your first appearances, and I really thought you was, and I told Dustin this, and I'm not sure if I told you, but felt like you was a natural out there. People do some really strange things as a manager, and I call you a manager because a lot of people like to refer to all the women as valets, but you're way beyond being just a valet. And being a manager takes, I did it for years, and people don't understand that you have to go out there and you have to be into the match outside the ring with the guy that's getting beat up. So you have to do the emotion outside the ring, and you were within, I think this was like your 5th or 6th match, you was already getting that. So that's something that takes sometimes years for someone to get. Some of the recent stuff I've seen you in, so I'm going to keep talking about how good you are, and then I'll let you talk, okay? Some of the recent stuff I've seen you in, you're just, when it comes to the area that you're in, the Memphis area, we still in that area have managers, but heads above them all. I mean, hats off to you. You and Dustin are the Shiznit when it comes to that area, and really, I mean, the thing about it is you just continue to improve, and very proud of you for that. So let me quit talking about you. So what I want to do is I want you to go back, and I want you to tell the listeners, since Dustin's so much part of your wrestling career and what you're doing wrestling-wise, tell us how you and Dustin met.
Okay, well, first of all, thank you so much for all of those kind words. Dustin, who is my husband, is obviously a little biased, but he's always really said the same thing from the minute that I stepped into the ring, that, some people, they just naturally pick it up and you just have it. And so I think he sees me as very coachable. And I feel like from the beginning, I've learned from the best. I didn't really grow up with wrestling, and I have a sister, and so we never watched any type of wrestling at all. And Dustin actually took me to my first match almost 10 years ago, and I had never seen anything like it at all. And so we dated for probably about 3 years before I ever started into the business, like wrestling business, but I had been emceeing for the Redbirds, and there was actually a Memphis promoter that was like, hey, do you think Maria would come to the ring with you? And he was like, I doubt it. She's really not into the wrestling scene. And And he's like, yeah, but she's really pretty and she can talk on a microphone. So just go back and ask her if she'll do it. And so he came to me and he's like, well, there's TV involved. And I'm like, okay, well, that's all you got to say. And so I came to the ring with him for the first time, and it was such an eye-opener because no one had ever in my life called me a bad name like that before. We were obviously
oh,
the
my
bad
God,
guys.
yes.
So we get backstage and I'm like, okay, well, he's like, how'd you like it? And I said, well, you know, it was fun and all, but they're out there calling me these really bad names. And he's like, yeah, that means you're doing a great job. And I'm like, oh, okay. And so since then, it's pretty much just my goal. Whatever I can do to rile these fans up was Derrick King's retirement match and also his birthday. So I spent all day baking his cake for Derrick, and I bring it out to the ring. And what does he do? He sticks this cake in my face. But there is this woman who gets so mad at me for throwing this cake on her because I just got a little upset and started throwing this cake everywhere, and it hit her. Well, she comes out of nowhere with this bat. She's got this bat, and she's, like, beating the ring with it, and Dustin is like,
oh, my God.
Like, don't you let her in this ring, because if she does, Maria's going to have to kick her butt. Like, so, yeah, it just kind of escalated from there. I do everything I can to make these women call me these names, and sometimes it takes a lot of work, and sometimes it doesn't take much at all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, that's coming from not being part of the business and just me as a fan growing up, I would sit in the crowd and listen to what people, you know, the things that they would say about other wrestlers, and I bet that was kind of a, like you said, kind of a culture shock there coming out to hear people call you. And I've been at some of the Wildfire shows where they just, I mean, just, it's pathetic what people say, but it's just, like Dustin told you, you were doing something right, so that's what makes well your job, and I've been caught everything in the book too, so it's fun when you get that kind of reaction. It can have a thick skin when you go out there. Also, Maria, you got to remember the number one rule in wrestling is that if you actually bring a cake to the ring, your face is gonna get smashed in it. So always remember that, okay?
Yeah, I was, but it kind of just backfired on me because I figured Derrick's face was going into this cake, not my face. You know, it was his birthday, so technically he should have gotten the cake in the face.
There you
but
go,
I definitely
yeah.
learned my lesson there with the cake in the face. But you're right. I think the biggest shock was the children and the way that they talk. I can handle adults talking to me crazy, but when a child starts cussing me out, the mama in me really comes out. And I'm like, I am for real about to bend you over my knee and spank your butt.
I know. I see so many kids like the 10-year-olds or even younger. They will be flipping, the heel managers, actually flipping them off and everything. It's just, it's funny, but then it's kind of sad. At first it's funny, but then, like you said, the parent comes out of you and you go, oh, God, what's going on there? You talk about Derrick's last match now. What was the atmosphere? I haven't talked to Derrick yet. We're planning on bringing him on in the next couple weeks to talk about it. But since you were there, and Derrick was, the number one wrestler in this area. When I was doing the website, he was number one of the 50 in 5 years. So he has always been such a great worker, and always shared a lot with younger people and everything that's getting into business. What was the atmosphere like after the match? Did we see some tears and everything, or was Derrick just happy to get it over?
Well, I can honestly say when you say that he's always doing things to help people get into business, he had tried to tell me for years when we were just, friends, you're gonna be doing this one day, and I think I said like something like over my dead body, and so he loves to throw that into my face now when I'm like in the ring and I'm coming up with ideas like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. So he loves to just, like, throw that in my face. But when I say I learned from the best, I had Dustin on one side and Derrick on the other side, and both of them, trying to teach me how to be the best manager that I could possibly be. And you could definitely feel that in the locker room. There was a lot of guys very appreciative of all the work that he's done and all the people that he's helped. The crowd was rowdy, and they were there for Derrick, because when I went to take him to Slap City, woo, Lord, I think every woman in that building was ready to beat me up, and thankfully Dustin ended up with that bat, or somebody probably would have used it on me. But at the end, after everything calms down, it took a good 10 minutes for all this crowd to just kind of calm down, because we had this crowd so fired up that after the match, we want to calm them down and just kind of say our piece to Derrick. And so that took a minute for everybody to calm down. Then all the wrestlers came out of the locker room, and Derrick shed some tears. He gets all emotional because, really this is his first annual retirement match. It's not his actual retirement match.
Yeah, I did put Derrick King's last match on the website with a question mark. So yeah. I didn't want to, falsely advertise anything, but yeah, I did put Derrick's last match question mark. But awesome. I've got the match actually queued up, and we will also put that over on Twitter so that people will know what we're talking about. Also, I'll even put that. We'll put that cake going in your face, one of the classic wrestling angles, and it's one of the silliest things that people do, but it's one of my favorites. So even as a kid, I knew what was going to happen, and even now, when the cake comes out, I'm like, I'm getting excited about it because I know what's going to happen. So, all right, we're going to take a brief. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I really think that everyone was shocked to see that cake go in my face, because they expected Dustin or Derrick to get the cake, but when it went in my face, it was just wild. And so we definitely got the reaction that we wanted. And me watching it back, I just died laughing. It was so funny.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, I'll put that on and people can hear the crowd. The crowd's going crazy on that. All right, we're going to take a brief time out here. I've got to give away something. And so then we're going to come back and we're going to talk to Maria. And the winner is DVD Glory Pro, the first show. Main event, Matt Riddle, Michael Elgin, Head Cheese. That's right, at BLU_Rey Mysterio on Twitter. You are the winner of the DVD. Now, here's what you have to do. You have to private message me on Twitter at comicbookmarkbt. You need to give me your name, street address, and I will be shipping out the DVD along with also a free Shooting the Shiznit sticker. So the winner again is Head Cheese at blue_Rey Mysterio. Congratulations, Head Cheese. All right, now we're back with Maria. Maria, you was talking about not watching wrestling growing up and not really being a fan of wrestling growing up, but you've absorbed a lot now. Could you consider yourself a fan of? Do you watch Raw regularly? I know Dustin does. Is it something that you watch on a regular basis now?
Well, thanks to the WWE Network, I have gotten my fill of all types of wrestling, all the old school wrestling.
Right.
And I would say now that I'm not so much a fan of WWE, but I'm definitely a fan of the craft that goes into it and the level of skill that it takes to, all of these guys walk into a locker room, and 9 times out of 10 they haven't even met each other before, and they can put this match together, and it's just incredible that that two strangers don't know each other can make this great storyline and this exciting match happen. So I think I'm more of a fan of the production and the actual art of the wrestling and the entertainment factor of it.
Okay, is there anybody, they used to talk about WWE anywhere, the actual manager role, unless you do. I mean, it mainly is there's occasionally managers up north. Maybe you can almost count them on your hands. But when you go to the South, and it always was like that, it's almost like, and it's because Jimmy Hart, it's because of Jim Cornette, it's because of guys like that kind of paved the way and were on TV for so long. But the manager role is still live and well, pretty much there in the Southern wrestling. And but who managers considered dead. You're the manager. Who have you've got the whole network to look, but who have you studied and what they do outside the ring?
Well, we're actually pretty good friends with Jim Cornette and Jimmy Hart. So both of them have been huge inspirations for me. And anytime that I can pick their ear, like one time we were at or pick their brain, one time we were at autograph signing and Jim Cornette was like just so happened to be right next to us. So every single chance I got, to just talk to him and, hear his jokes and hear his one-liners, I definitely did that. And you're right when you say that people think that the manager role is dead, but honestly, more people feel like Dustin has been more successful with me at ringside with him just because it's such an entertaining, it just adds another level of entertainment to his act and to the show as a whole. Because even down here in the South, there's really not that many managers that still come to the ring. And when they do, they're not nearly as good looking as I am, and they're not nearly as entertaining as I am, and they're not nearly as mean as I am. So,
I agree. The manager bunch is either doing the same thing they've done for the last 20 years, and I'm not going to throw anyone's name out there. I'm not going to be a butthead today, but they've been doing the same thing. They've been 20 years. They don't change anything they're doing. I will agree with the people that's in the around the wrestling business there. The power couple and the whole gimmick when he brought you out was, it reminds me a lot. It reminded me when I first seen you guys together as Savage and Elizabeth. And why I say that is that your look is different than the average valet or girl that's brought, and it's usually a wrestler's girlfriend in a bad way. She's just been there, and they've decided to throw her, and she doesn't know what the hell she's doing, and she's horrible, and she's not good looking, and she's wearing something really, really trashy. So, I like trashy every once in a while. My wife knows that. But the thing about it is, you and Dustin come out, and and the reason it works is you guys are above that level. Dustin and you are professionals, and I've told him this a million times that you guys, at the least need to be on Impact, and that's the least thing you guys could do. I've always seen you guys as, something bigger than, and had the opportunity, you guys, and I know you do many things, and that might not be your dream, might not be the money, might not be worth it. But it's just one of those things that the act is so good and so above what's going on in that area that makes you guys special.
Well, thank you again for all those kind words. I don't know if those shows are the goals, but you never say never in our households because just when you do, something happens and
right.
you're actually doing it. But we have so many things going on here in Memphis. I've been the MC for the Redbirds for the last 7 seasons. Dustin just started MCing for the Grizzlies. On top of that, we've taken over local wrestling. We have some other really big things working right now that we can't announce, but we cannot wait to announce, and we're so excited to do that. But we've definitely found our niche in Memphis, and maybe and hopefully one day that will bring us to bigger and greater things. But right now we're having fun here in Memphis, and talking about doing the same old things in the ring. I feel like there's just so many things that you can do, from a manager, wrestler standpoint. And you're right when you say that I'm definitely way more than a valet, whether it's, you know, throwing chairs in the ring for Dustin to use, or, you know, choking somebody when Dustin's distracting the ref, or, you know, whatever I can do to make sure that my husband wins that match is what I'm going to do.
Right. Well, I mean, and you get it. That's what I've always told people that work around the ring, that get it, because your role out there is to be invested in your character. So you've got to be and also invested. So if Dustin's getting punched, if Dustin's getting kicked, then, you know, you're grimacing, you're doing, or you're trying to make him, you know, it's all about what you're doing and not taking away from what's going on. And you're there for the interference and like I said, you know, a lot of managers, they just go out and stand with their hand on their hip or whatever, and it's just it's good to see someone get it. And you guys, you know, Power Couple's always been a favorite of mine. Now, I don't like you as much as Fred does. Now, Fred, we got to mention Fred because he's the biggest mark for you guys in the world. So
I think Fred is one of our number one fans, and he is such a great guy. He is always there for us. If we need him to be there, he will be there. We just love Fred to death, and he is, you know, just a true wrestling fan. He just loves wrestling, and he's definitely a 5-star guy. That cannot be disputed.
Yeah, we have
but
him.
You know, we do get.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, we do get compared to Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth a lot. But whenever I watch her matches back, because I didn't watch them growing up, I would tell Dustin, you know, how can they compare us to them? Because she's so nice. She's so, like, and I'm ruthless. I'm savage. Like, how can you compare me to her other than looks? Because she didn't really get ugly, and she was never really ugly.
That's right. You're right, but it is the look. It's when you guys come out, it is, you know, the matching attire. We don't, you know, you wear, I guess the best word, fancy. You guys are fancy, so you don't wear trashy stuff. You always look above. And that Dustin's always been like that. I mean, before you knew him, Dustin was trying and knew that to be something in this business, he had to look better than the guys on the show. He had to do things like that. He knew that he didn't have to be the best wrestler on the show, but he knew he had to be the best something. And it was not that he didn't improve his craft as he goes, but it just was, he knew if I've got the right amount of tights, the gimmick, the whole 9 yards there that some people don't get, they just go in and do spots. Then that's what's improved him and you guys. I mean, together. Like I said, I like Dustin by himself, but you add a lot to it, so he knows that. And okay, so we're almost done, but I just want to go ahead.
Okay. No. I think there's a delay in our thing where we're not hearing each other, but that's okay. Go ahead. Wrap it up.
No,
whatever you want to do.
They tell me that my criticism on the podcast is I don't shut up enough and let my guests talk. So.
Oh, well, I was just going to say that Dustin is obviously a big proponent of looking the part. I'm not down on anybody in any locker rooms, but sometimes we walk into a locker room and nobody looks the part. And it's like, do you want to be successful in this business? Because if you don't believe your act, nobody out there is going to believe your act. So, what are you trying to accomplish? What are your goals? Like, we are big believers in setting goals and going out and, achieving those. And that means looking the part for that.
I agree. You guys have and he always has. I mean, even with this posse gimmick. Okay, we got only a few minutes left, and so what I want to do is I want to end the show with a little top 3 of something. So here we go. Here's what I want you to do. Tell me the top 3 nicest guys or girls, whatever, wrestlers in the business that you met. The top 3.
The top 3. Let's see. Handsome Jimmy Valiant. He is super nice. Jimmy Hart is super nice.
Wow.
And I'm going to have to give it to Bill Dundee, even though he has kissed me, spanked me. Whenever we're not at the ring, he's a pretty nice guy.
Hey, Maria, some people think, the kissing and spanking thing might have been a good thing. But, I understand you're not, you don't want to do that, being married and everything. But
when we're figuring out how the match is going to play out, he's definitely not upset that he's going to have to do that.
I've known Bill for a long time, and I can understand that. That does sound like him, even though he's almost 70 years old. So,
yeah.
All right.
That
so
was a good question because we've worked with a lot of different people, and that's so hard because X-Pac, he's a really nice dude. Like they're all just down to earth. It would be hard. It would be easier to name the rude ones.
That's what we're going to do. You knew where I was going. I want the top 3 buttheads. Top 3 buttheads, and that'll be the last question of the day.
Good Lord, you are going to
come on! We gotta shoot sometime during that thing. We gotta shoot sometime. So just the 3 biggest buttheads.
All right. Well, you are going to get me in trouble. Dustin is going to kill me for saying this, but Brian Christopher, he gets heated, man. He can be a butthead.
Well, you're not the only one to say that, so.
Yeah. And then, hey, I'll tell you a story. I don't even know this guy's name, but something happened in the ring, and he didn't get the memo, and so he thought he was going to choke slam me. And he grabbed me by my neck so hard. Yes, I was in shock. He grabbed me by my neck so hard. And he was just about to choke slam me, and everybody else thought this was part of the match, and it was not part of the match. And Dustin came up behind him, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm going crazy. Like, I'm legit screaming at him, like, "Don't you ever put your hands on me again like that." And just going crazy. We get in the locker room, and this dude, Brian, he is like 6'5", and I'm 5'2", and I'm going at him. It's like a little chihuahua going at like a lion or something. And, I mean, we are going at it in the locker room, and he was just such a jerk. I do not know his name. I have not seen him since. But he was from up north, and maybe Dustin will know his name and be able to tell you. But that's all I got for that. I'm not incriminating myself.
I actually
anymore.
got a text message for Dustin while we're doing this. He says, "I don't even remember his name. He's a fucking dick." So that's what we know about him. So the second butthead was fucking dick. The first one was Brian Christopher. One more butthead, and we're gonna end the show. Okay?
Yeah. That sounds good.
All right, one more butthead.
No, I don't want to give any more. Can I name Dustin, my own husband?
No,
yeah,
I'm saying
that's what I'll do.
Oh, okay. We're going to name Dustin as a butthead. All right. So Maria didn't want to get any heat. I understand. You're still in the business. I'm not, so it don't really matter anymore for me. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on. It was a fun time. And me and you didn't. This is what this is about. Shooting the Shiznit is just sitting down talking, and me and you know each other, but didn't know each other, and I didn't know the answers to the questions, and I sometimes do. So it's kind of fun. Everyone, go to her Twitter account. We do appreciate all the downloads you guys have been especially for Dustin Gene Jackson, as I said, and also the top 10 countdown that we had going on. Maria did a fantastic job. Thank you, Maria, and thank you, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next Tuesday here on the best little wrestling podcast in the business.